3, 2, 1, level up, level up, level up, level up, level up.
Welcome back to my channel. My name is Charmaine and I am here with a mini TJ Maxx haul, palettes only. Okay, so I did go to TJ Maxx a couple days ago and I saw some palettes in there, some brands that I did not recognize and that I've never used before, so I thought that I would try them out. I was gifted 3 palettes, but the rest I bought with my own money. So we're going to test that out today. Now I'm first going to start off with palettes that or a brand that I did recognize. So J-Cat had some palettes at TJ Maxx, and I want to say that all the palettes are under $13. So I think the most expensive palette was $12.99. I don't remember what the cost of each palette was though, because I already took them out of their packaging and threw the packaging away, so it's much easier for me to get through the video faster. So we'll go ahead and get started. The first palette is the J-Cat Secret Paradise eyeshadow palette. And it looks like this on the inside. I liked it because of the dark colors, but we're gonna go ahead and swatch some colors and see how they perform. My other J-Cat palette I liked, so I was quick to pick up this palette just because I've tried a palette before and it wasn't disappointing. But we'll go ahead and see. Okay. So this is Sailing, this is Festivity, this one is See the View, and then this last one is Treasure. Okay, this one is flaking off a little bit, but I think I put too much on. Okay. So this Treasure one didn't go on as deep as it looks in the palette, but maybe you can build up the color. So that color you can build up. This Treasure color though, it's probably supposed to be like just a soft, looks like a midnight violet purpley color. Let me try a couple more colors. The shimmers I like. The shimmers are doing fine. These last two were mattes. So we'll try this color, Beach Bum. Looks like a orangey. Okay. It does look a bit splotchy. You can build it up, and then we'll do Chill Out, which is a deep shimmer blue, and it does, like, there's some kickback because, well, that's a nice color. It doesn't look too shimmery on the skin, so I could probably put this in my crease. I try to avoid like shimmery colors or glitters in my crease, but that looks fine to me. I would say, I mean, this palette's, it's not like the other J-Cat palettes I have, I will say that, but I mean, I can work with it. Would I recommend this palette? I mean, the shimmers are nice. I'd have to test it out and see like how it goes. I'm just getting wipes to clean my hands off to see how it goes on my eyes and to see if it performs better. Eyeshadows are always different when you're swatching with your hands and on a brush, so it may go on better with the brush than it is going on my skin just by using my hands. So keep that in mind. But I do like the colors in the palette. Okay, and I don't like when it's all dusty. I like to clear that out, but I don't mind if it gets like kickback or fall out. Okay, so that was Secret Paradise. Looks like this. This next one I like because it was really colorful. So this is Traffic Night. I don't know what this said, bokeh. I don't know, but Traffic Night bokeh. I don't know what a bokeh is. But this is a colorful J-Cat palette. Looks like this on the inside. And for some reason, this is reminding me of another palette that I got. I don't think it was J-Cat. I can't remember who it was, but Glitter Backdrop is this first color, and it is Oh wow. What a nice, oh my god, that's so pretty. Don't tell me J-Cat is like a hit or miss brand. Okay, let's try this other one. It's called Spotted Light. This is another like glitter shade. Okay, it looks like that. Very, very pretty. And then let's try these mattes, because the last palette, the mattes weren't really performing like I wanted them to, but okay, so we'll try 2020, which is a purple color, and we'll try 140 miles per hour or mph, which is a magenta color. Okay, so this is, that's the 2020, and this is the 140 mph. Okay, so I think those are going on just fine. Okay, One Way Street, we'll try this one. I really like the glitters in the palette, or the shimmers. Okay, that's going on fine. Maybe it's just the blues in the other palette that weren't performing as well, but this palette seems to be performing just fine. And I really like the colorful theme of the palette. You know, for a second, I almost remembered what that palette was that I was thinking about. I don't know, but I think is it a BH Cosmetics palette? Something like with the 80s or 90s, I think. I don't know, but this is reminding me of that palette. Wish I could remember what palette it was. Let me look really quick because it's gonna bother me. I can't find the palette that I'm thinking of, so I might just be tripping and thinking it looks familiar, probably because I looked at it so many times in TJ Maxx. But we'll move on. So the next palette I have is another brand that I didn't, or a brand that I didn't recognize, and this is the, what is it? Romantic Beauty, looks like this. And it's called Poppin' Paisley. That's what the palette's called. You can kind of barely read the writing on the palette. I don't really like that, but I'm not here about reading the writing on the palette. I just want to use the palette. So this is what it looks like on the inside. I really like this color here, Ivory, because this is a glitter color, but it's really pretty. And we're gonna swatch a few shades from this palette and see how it looks. Again, it might perform better on your eyes than it will if you're just swatching it, so keep that in mind. So this first color is called Rose Gold. Goes on very light. Okay, I added a second layer to it, but that's very light. It's just more like a highlighter. It's so light. Okay, the next color is Amber. And Amber's that second color there. I'm trying to swatch it better so you can see it in the camera. Okay, so there's Amber. This color here. Then we're gonna swatch Cider. This color looks good. These two colors look fine. This one is like very, very sheer. You can almost barely see that it's there. And we'll try some of their mattes. Okay, so I'm gonna try Papaya. We're gonna try Blush. And we're going to try Terracotta. Okay, so the first one is Papaya, this color. This color is Blush, which is going on good. And then this one's Terracotta, which obviously the way it's going on, it'll be fine if you build it up. But yeah, that's Terracotta, which is really pretty. And then let's dig into that glittery shade to see if that even picks up. Oh, okay, so that did pick up. So this is a glitter shade called Ivory. That's really pretty. Okay, now the quality of this fabric, just in the swatches, just the couple that I swatched, the only one that I'm not sure about is that top one here. That I'd have to use as like a highlighter, but the other colors seem like you can build up. And again, I'm pretty sure this was one of the palettes that was for sure under $10. So if you're on a budget, you're new to makeup and you just want to try something out, like this would be a good palette to try. But there are other affordable brands that are in the drugstore that have good quality and good prices. But this is at TJ Maxx, and this is a brand that I was not familiar with, so I thought I'd give it a try. I definitely want to try to do a look with it first before I make any like final judgments on it. But I mean, so far so good. I really think that I could make this work regardless. All right, and the next palette that we have here is called Color Story, and it's Bright Blooms. So the brand is Color Story, the palette's Bright Blooms. And oh, I have the price on this one. See, this one was $5, so $4.99. All right, and this palette looks like this. I picked this one because of these like bright colors here, like so pretty, especially that blue. So we're gonna go ahead and swatch like this blue, some of these purples, and this pink, and see how it does. Color Story, I don't think I have any palettes from this brand, Color Story. I have C Color, which is different, but I don't recognize Color Story. So again, this haul was more about brands I didn't recognize other than J-Cat, and I do have a Morphe palette in here that I got, so I recognize those brands. But this brand, Color Story, Romantic Beauty, I'm not familiar with, never tried before. Okay, so this is that deep blue, and it's called Heyday. Goes on like that. It went on better on my, ew, I'm getting glitter in the palette. Glitter gets everywhere. Okay, so let's try to build that up. So pretty. This is such a pretty color on my fingers, so I almost want to put it on my eyelids, but I'm not going to do that because it's going to mess up this look. We're going to try Budding, which is like a royal purpley color. Okay. We will try the Poppy color, which is it's like a pink. Okay, that color. And you never know, like the colors can go on fine and then blend out like it was never there. So that's why you have to really try it on your eye. Swatching isn't gonna give you, it'll give you a little bit of an idea. That went on really pretty. This is called Dewy. Okay, and then let me try, let's see. So Dewy's like a shimmer shade. I'm gonna try the color next to Dewy, which is like a light blue color, and it looks like a shimmer also, and see how this goes on. Okay, so that's really nice. Okay, let me just try this green. This looks like a deep green, a forest green. For $5, I would say this is a brown. It's called Terra. So for $5, like this is a good deal. There's nothing really wrong with the pigment. I would say I'm certain these colors can build up, but again, I definitely want to try these and put them on my eye and put it to the test first before I go back and decide if I would buy any of these brands again. So Romantic Beauty, I have to test it out, see if I want to try that again or if I want to buy it again. This Color Story, it's the same thing. I need to test it on my eye first to see if I would purchase any more if I happen to see them in there. And we'll move on to the next brand. Okay, so the next brand is called Amore S. And I definitely never heard of that brand, but they had some really pretty packaging. This one was a gift. It's called Macaroon Magic. And these colors are more like of a pastel-y. Pastel-y is not a word, but it's like a pastel color palette. And we'll try these and see. Okay, so we're gonna try Hawaiian Taro or Taro. So there's definitely some fallout here, but I mean, that's a pretty color. And just, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, this eye look I use an Amore palette. I haven't shown it to you yet, but I will. So I've already tested out this brand and I was impressed by that palette and the pigment. So you'll have to stay tuned and subscribe so you can see that video when it goes up. Okay, this is Dwarf Blueberry. Let's try this Blue Moon color. Okay, that's Blue Moon. And of course, we need to go into the shimmer shades so you can see how those perform. I'm not swatching every color in every palette just because it is a lot of palettes to be swatching. Okay, so this is Swirling Raspberry. Looks like a really pretty color. And we're going to swatch Pistachio Delight. I dug into that one a little bit hard, but that's Pistachio Delight. And we'll try Cherry Marble. Okay, and that's Cherry Marble. These are really pretty colors. I would say some of these pastel colors I feel like I might have in other palettes, but again, I wasn't looking, I was just looking to try a new brand, and when I saw it there, I actually didn't see too much at the TJ Maxx. I saw just a lot of brands that I hadn't tried before. This being the main brand, they had maybe, I don't know, 7 palettes from this brand, maybe 10. I'm not sure, but I thought I'd try them because it'd be a good palette to try since they're not known and they were affordable. The packaging is pretty. The color schemes, this one's pretty. You haven't seen the other ones that I have yet, so you'll be able to see for yourself. And the pigment was more than what I expected. Okay, so the next palette is the Amoris brand. This is called Enchanted Sky. Right, and this palette looks like this on the inside. So we'll swatch some colors from this palette. So I want to try the glitters here. So we're gonna try Ambrosia, which looks like it's this color here. I don't even know how to describe that color because when the light's hitting it, it's like a minty green. There's some yellow. Ooh, and then it doesn't look green or yellow here, kind of giving peachy right there. So that's very pretty. And there's this Stupid Cupid color, which looks like pink with some purple reflex in it. Oh, that's pretty. Okay, and let's try Horizon. Oh, this one's not picking up as good as the other two, but that's Horizon. You might have to pat that one on. Yeah. And it may need like the glitter glue. But I did put glitter on my eye today and I didn't use glitter glue and it's not really falling out or like moving around as I'm like blinking. And we will try one of these shimmer shades. Well, a shimmer shade or two. So let me get this glitter off. I had to let the dog in because I could hear him at the door. Okay, so we're going to try some of these shimmers. So we're going to try Medallion, which looks like a burnt orange shimmer. And then we're going to try Wise Willow, which looks more like a, well, it's green. Okay, so that one, ooh, that's really pretty. That green is really pretty. Let's try Olympus. Okay, that's Olympus. That one's like a gray green. And then we should try, I'm not really concerned about the mattes. I'm actually not even concerned about this brand just because I've already put it on my eye. But I'm liking it. Okay, and this is called Sorcery. And we'll go in with Morpheus. Okay. And let me swatch the deeper colors just so you can see like their deep colors, how deep they are and if they're performing. So we're gonna go in this deep brown. It's called Terra Nova. It does have some glitter reflex in it. Looks like it's gold reflex, but the color's like a deep brown. So that's the color right there. That's washed really well. And then this is Runes, which looks, I think it's like a black with some shimmer to it. Looks like that. Very nice, especially for the price. If you see this brand in TJ Maxx, I would say don't hesitate to get it and add it to your collection or to try it. It's definitely affordable. And their palettes, so if this definitely wasn't more than $12, but this is a 32 shade eyeshadow palette. So that's a lot of colors for the price. And I really think you'll enjoy this brand. So this is the second palette from the Amores brand that I swatched. And we're going to go into the next one, which is Femme Fatale, also Amores brand. And this palette looks like this. I think this one reminds me of like a Huda Beauty palette. I'm pretty sure I don't have that palette because I don't like spending those prices. Not that I don't have palettes that cost a lot, but I really don't like spending that kind of money on palettes, and a lot of them I wait till they're on sale or I find them at TJ Maxx. Okay, so let's go ahead and go into this palette. Let me show it to you again just in case that was too quick. So it looks like this on the inside, and I like the color story, of course. So we're gonna try this color Gemstone. Looks like a glitter shade, and it's kind of picking up as I'm okay. That's that color. It's like a gray, so that's Gemstone. Then we're gonna try Independent, which looks like a black, like charcoaly glitter, but I don't know if it's that dark. Let's see. Looks like there's some gold in there. Okay, so that's Independent. We're gonna try Hypnotic. Ooh. So that's Hypnotic right there. I just added a second layer to that. That's pretty. And we're gonna try Siren. This looks like another pretty color. Okay, and that's Siren down here. Let's add a second layer. Okay, so that's Siren. You can see a little bit better now. Okay, and then we have Kinky, which is a glitter shade. Okay, and I just have to spread it out, but that's Kinky. Looks like a shiny new penny type of color, copper. And then there's this gold shade here called Fierce. Okay, and then that's Fierce. So far, so good. Let me swatch one of the lighter colors. I don't tend to use like these light beige colors unless it's on like my brow bone. Sometimes I'll use them on my lid, but not really. So this is Natural. And that's Natural. Let me... Okay, so that's Natural. And then we have Daring, which is another soft beigey type of shade. Okay, so right there, they kind of look similar, but they're not really. This one looks more gray than this one. Okay, so that's this palette, and then let's just try one more color. Okay, this one's called Fever, and this is like a orangey terracotta type of shade. Okay, and that's that. Really, really pretty. So this is a nice palette. Color scheme is nice. Browns. There are a couple purple shades in there, but this is definitely a wearable palette. This could be an everyday palette because of the shades. They're not doing too much, not too bright. Definitely want to try this out and use this. So that's Femme Fatale. Okay, and then next palette is the palette I'm actually wearing on my eyes right now, and that is the Bad Blood palette by Amores. And it looks like this. So the colors on my eyes right now, go watch the video, but you can kind of see, like, I touched this color, there's this color, and I think this color. And I think I use this deep brown here. Okay, so that's what's on my lid right now. Check out the video. It will be up sometime after this video so that you can see how I got this look. But I definitely use this palette, which was the palette that really like wowed me, because I was not expecting this brand to be as pigmented. Because it's cheap and I haven't heard of it, I just automatically assumed that it wasn't going to perform well and that the colors would just blend right off, but it didn't. So we'll go ahead and swatch. I'm not going to swatch any of the colors that I used on my eyes. I'm going to try to swatch different colors. So let's swatch Intoxicated, which is this glitter color. Okay, and that's Intoxicated. Reminds me of like Christmas lights. Okay, and we're going to try Gold Scale. Okay, that's Gold Scale. That'd be like a nice highlighter also, or just like a soft, to do a soft gold look. We're going to try Bad Apple, Purple Haze. Okay, so Bad Apple is this. It's like a brown, looks kind of brownish, orangish here. And then Purple Haze. What else should we try? Let's try Arch Nemesis. Pretty. And then we're gonna try Slither In. Slither In. Ooh, that's a pretty color. There is fallout with these. That's really pretty. There is fallout with these palettes, but that's okay. That does not bother me. It obviously still goes on just fine. I did my eyes first before I did my face anyway, so that didn't matter. And there wasn't too much fallout actually on my face. There's just kickback when you're picking it up out of the palette. So, I mean, that's not a huge issue for me anyway. Yes, so definitely, if you see this palette, pick it up. I would say pick up, I mean, all of them, but Bad Blood, I would say definitely pick up. I would definitely pick up this Femme Fatale. And I mean, if I had to choose of these four Morris palettes, I would pick up these two for sure. So the Bad Blood and the Femme Fatale. Okay, so the Femme Fatale was like, it could be like your everyday palette. Definitely affordable. And then this Bad Blood, I feel like this is like a nice palette. This to me, this could be an everyday palette too. This is like so pretty. I just like the colors. This is just a nice color palette to have. Okay, and the last Amores palette is actually a blush and highlighter palette. It's called Pink Ruby, and the packaging is really cute if you hadn't noticed, okay? So this is a blush and highlighter palette, Pink Ruby. I did use the blush. I mixed two blush colors. So this blush color here, which is Blossom, and I mixed Haze with it. So these two, and then I mixed these two highlighters on my face, and this is, what is it? Sweet Talk and then Heaven. So these two here, I just mixed together. This is also a blush, but it's a shimmer blush, and this is a blush. So there's not that many colors in here, so I'll go ahead and swatch them all and then show them to you. So this is Blossom. This was the first color I put on my for blush, and it's like a peachy. I like peachy blushes. And then we have Haze, which was like a mauve blush, a mauve pink. And I put that over top of this to get this color. And then we have this, looks like a reddish terracotta-y blush. And I blended it out, but it looks like that. That's called Garnet. And then they have this shimmer blush, Rose Quartz here. So you can use this as a blush, or even like, oh yeah, as a blush. This would be a bit much for highlighter. Okay, Elijah's over there playing, so that's what you hear in the background. Okay, and then for the two highlighters, so these are the four blushes. The bottom one is a shimmer. These top three are the mattes. This first one, it's more like a yellow gold, is Heaven, and then this champagne one is Sweet Talk. Okay, so this is Heaven and this is Sweet Talk, and that's what I mixed for my highlighter today. It doesn't show up like as, I mean, you can see it, it's like a light wash of color if you don't want to do something, want too much. And I did, it's on my nose, you can see it more on my nose than you can like here, but this is like blended out. And then yeah, so let me know what you think about the Amours brand. If you tried it, if you've seen TJ Maxx, will you try it? Definitely, I would say pick it up if you see it. It's a really good brand, affordable price. All right. And then lastly, I saw this Morphe palette, the Vava Bloom palette. And I picked this up, one, because the packaging is pink, and I automatically assumed the inside colors would be pink. And I assumed right. I did open it in the store before, so I can make sure, because nothing worse than picking up a palette and the outside packaging does not match the color theme on the inside. That doesn't make sense to me, and I've seen that before. So this is like a very romantic pink palette. I think this could be also an everyday palette, and I like Morphe, so I mean, I'm expecting big things from this palette. Let me see, they do have color names on the insert but not in the palette, so I'm not going to call out the color names. But this is a nice deep brown shade. Then we have this maroon shade, very pretty. See, the Morphe quality is really good. Another brown. All right, let's get into these pinks, because pink is my favorite color and the reason why I would even want this palette in the first place. Okay, so we have, these are shimmers. They almost look alike. They don't look alike in the palette, but when you swatch them, they're actually pretty similar. Let me show you which two shades they are. They're these two shades here. These kind of look similar. Let me swatch the lighter shade next to it and see how that looks. Okay, this one looks lighter. Definitely really light. Okay, so that's the, you can't even see that, barely. Okay, so that's the other shade. And we'll swatch some more. So let me swatch these two pinks at the top. So we have this more, ooh, this pink, it's a matte pink and then like a matching shimmer shade. So this first one is the matte pink, and then this is a shimmer shade. They look the same in the palette, except for one's a matte and then one's a shimmer. But obviously this kind of goes on a little chalky, but it's still a pretty pink and you can work with it. And I will try one more. Let's try this gold. Okay, so that's the gold right there. Okay, that's it. This is a very pretty palette. I don't feel like I've been disappointed with a Morphe palette, and Morphe was one of the first brands that I started buying. I did have cheaper palettes, so I know I said this in a video before, but my first, what was that brand? Now I forgot. Coastal Scents. Okay, so I first started off with Coastal Scents because I think their singles were like 99 cents, and then they had like the discounts twice a year or something, and I got them, I don't know, 50 cents. But I first started with Coastal Scents, and then I definitely bought Morphe and BH Cosmetics. But Morphe, I cannot go wrong with Morphe. I just love Morphe brand. So, you know, if you see this palette and you're into pinks and just want a palette that has like soft pinks that are wearable for work, date night, every day, whatever it is, this is a good palette to have. It's not too big. You can actually travel with this, and the pigment for Morphe is like really, really good. So that's this palette, just in case you wanted to see it again. And I think that this might have been the most expensive palette for $13, if I'm remembering correctly. I think out of all these palettes, this was the most expensive one, and I'm pretty sure I didn't pay more than $13 for a palette. So if you see any of these palettes at your local TJ Maxx, I would definitely recommend the Morphe, and the Amoris brand for sure. So those two brands I would recommend. The other ones, color story was okay. I like the colors in that palette, but definitely Amoris. I just feel like these, if I'm going to recommend anything, it's going to be the Amoris brand and the Morphe brand. And then the others, like, you could do without, but they did have like some pretty colors and some nice color stories. So that's all for this mini haul video from TJ Maxx. Go ahead, comment down below what you think, which palette you like. If you've tried Amoris, of course, I'm really curious if you've tried Amoris or if you've even heard of Amoris, because this was my first time seeing the brand anywhere. Give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any future videos, because this look will be coming up. And I did use this Bad Blood palette from Amoris, so you got to check that out. All right, thanks for watching.
How I feel.